What's up, guys and gals? This is another episode of Man Cave Media Films. Yes, of course, it's cold. I have got to wear my hoodie. And I've got to wrap my gear. Radio control in motion, baby. Alright. You're on a tripod this time, so it might be a little weird, but I have taken the advice already on the Hillbilly High Roller. It's charging right now, so let me get the other project in question out of the way first and bring the Hillbilly High Roller in here. Sure we are not zoomed all the way up. I have taken the advice on the comments already. Removed the rear deck spoiler off of the drift body. I've lowered the pins down to just 3 pins remaining, which it still sits ridiculously high, but if I go any lower, I'm going to run the risk of ramming one of these, especially in the rear. I'm going to run into the risk of rubbing the panels on it, but that does look a lot better. So I think it was either 4Mods, or somebody that had suggested to do that, and I was more than happy to oblige to it. But here's the other truck in question. This is the other SCX10 big boy. This is the one that's running the stock axial receiver, a Traxxas 3-channel, 27 megahertz. Boo. Not quite as cool as my Spectrum. I'm actually thinking about converting this to the 2.4 gig off of my Exceed. But this one has the stock 27 turn Honcho motor, stock tranny, stock everything except for the MIPs. Now herein lays the problem. Can't quite ever get these shafts out, but look at that. These are the MIP spline CVDs, and for some reason the rear shaft, even if I Loctite it, still ends up falling off the transfer case. Now, I've double grub screwed it, and it still will not work right. Now, we've been using this body, as you can tell, up to this point. Thinking about taking my Dodge body and rocking it, but we run into, oh wow, imagine that. Of course, on camera everything goes together wonderfully. You don't get to see all the screw-ups behind the scenes. Now that fits. God, I hate using this little tripod. Now it fits pretty darn good on there, except for the fact that you can never get the damn wheel wells to line up on these bodies because they were not meant for it. But oh, this is really ridiculous having to use this. This truck here has been done with, if you can see down there, these are actually the servo mount blocks, and of course we have the stock SCX10 shocks on it, which this little servo block acts as a impromptu lift kit to get everything done. And of course it doesn't help that I have these massive Mickey Thompson TSL Super Swampers on there, but they're not really good for crawling over stuff, but if you're hitting the trail, they give an awesome scale look, as well as trail durability with these notches that are cut off out of the sides. But for some reason, this shaft will not stay on the input, or the output rather, of the transfer case. As much as I try to get it in there and keep it on there, it will not stay on. The front shaft has no issues. I don't know if it's to do with the pinion angle in the rear, because I don't know if you can see it. That's pretty steep in the rear, and up front it's a nice gradual slope because I've clocked my whole front end upwards. Well, actually, you can tell since the servo is pointing down, I've actually clocked it inwards. And on the back, the axle has not been clocked, period, yet. I might have to clock the axle on that one to straighten the shaft out and the pinion angle, but then that's going to throw my block shackles into a little bit of a rift. Now I have ordered a second Wraith, and I've gotten let's see, ordered a 55 turn crawler motor. I've also ordered a 27 turn and a 20 turn. And I'm going to dick with this camera just a little bit just to get me in the picture for once instead of everything else. Alright, I have to just sit back a little bit. I've ordered a 55 turn, ordered a 27 turn, which is stock, and I ordered the stock 20 turn for the Wraith. Now I've also went ahead and ordered the aluminum upper links, the aluminum lower links, and the aluminum front tie rod, they call it. It's your front bars. So hopefully that will give it that, and the Integi big bore shocks are going to be coming off of the Hillbilly High Roller, and I'll be replacing those with the stock Wraith ones. It's hard to look viewfinder to lens. Not used to being in front of the camera like this, but it's worth a shot. Now, like I said before, the Exceed might be getting taken apart a little bit so I can put the 2.4 gigahertz transmitter on that one, and if I could do it, I would have done the MOA axles from that, stuck them on here, but that's not going to line up, period. So I'm kind of sitting at a quandary right now. I kind of have to digress on this one, and I just got to sit back and think, because I know swapping over to all the electronics off of that's going to disable my 8th scale crawler, but with the plastic gears inside of it, it's not really that big of a deal. With those dual 540s that are on there, they're not the greatest 540 motors, but it does take a lot of torque to turn those wheels over, and I don't think putting those huge tires on there is going to benefit a 2.2, because it's totally going to ruin the scale look. But the stock, the way this SCX is set up, it's just got so much droop in between the wheels that it just wants to do that. It wants to fall over all the time. Hoping that with the second Wraith, because the first one's bone stock, it's great and everything, but I've already stripped out 3 pairs of drive shafts on it. Don't ask me how, but I've done it. I might swap out my MIP spline CVDs on that as well. And if the transfer case is the same in the Wraith, I think I'm going to use the one that's got the Robinson Racing hardened steel internals on it. That way I don't break things. But this one's basically going to be a viewer poll for those of you that follow me. What do you want to see me do to the Wraith? As far as doing a budget build where the only parts I've bought are the upper and lower links and the front steering. What do you want to see me do to it to make it better? Any input, suggestions? I'll answer anything. I'll try anything, and we're just going to see where that'll go from there. So when it arrives and I have installed the upgrades and done all the waterproofing and everything, we will get to that, and there'll be probably a series of videos on that, depending on how many people actually say what they think would be good on it, which, once again, like I said, I'm completely open to opinions on it. Usually opinions are like assholes. Everybody has them. They all stink, but I'm going to throw that one in the wind this time, because this is strictly to all my fellow RC Sparks members and those who are in the RC world that are very adept and well-founded in it, even down to the new people. Any idea that you can come up with, leave it in the comment section, and we'll see what we can do about it. Because I want to make one that's completely one-off. Of course, we know we're going to be touching the paint. We're going to be redoing that completely. Don't really like the tribal that comes on it. As I said, I've got the stock one, and this one's just going to be over the top. I'm going to do something crazy with paint. But yeah, we're going to do a poll on this one, and we're going to see which direction we're going to take the truck on this one. Are we going to trail it? Are we going to crawl it? Or are we just going to beat the crap out of it? Anywho, that just wasted 10 minutes of your life, I'm sure. I'm sorry for that, but if you like what you see, don't forget to hit subscribe and hit those polls. Let me know what you want to see. Man Cave Media out.